Hi, it's Chris Watkin here, and I'm with Kristjan Byfield, the famous estate agent from East London, who famously put in, for God's sake, dog. You know, bless him. That's the joy of living from home, working from home. Now he's barking.
Oh my God, the missus keeps on like, why don't you work from home? I'm like, no, darling, I really need to be at the office. I really need to be at the office.
Anyway, let's keep this in. Kristjan, in less than 9 minutes, tell me why you left Rightmove. Talk to me.
So look, for us, this has been something that's been brewing for a long time. I've been pretty outspoken about my thoughts on Rightmove's handling of agents over the last 3 or 4 years. I mean, I think, my open letter made it pretty clear, but, I look back 4 or 5 years ago and I was a big Rightmove fan. I saw it as a critical partner within the business, good value, good ROI. At industry events 4 or 5 years ago, if I was speaking to another agent, whether that be London or, wherever, North Wales, didn't matter. I would be an agent that would defend its value. That's the case it used to be. And I think something Rightmove really needed to understand is that I think you've got a real problem when you've got people who are unmotivated advocates. When you've got a client that is willing to defend your brand and your pricing strategy, and you go through a process that turns that person into someone with literally polar opposite viewpoints, I think you've got to pay attention. For me, the big thing was last year. We're primarily a lettings agency. Obviously the tenant fee ban hit last year. Now, actually, interestingly for our business, last year it wasn't so much about us. The tenant fee ban, the way we structured our business, we lost somewhere in the region of about 2% of revenue. That was it. But, I know there were a lot of agents up and down the country who were looking at least 20% of their revenue coming off their books, accompanied with a host of seemingly endless new regulation coming into the space. And I felt last year, Rightmove decision, I think last year, Rightmove handed us a 21% increase. In April, when the tenant fee ban had been announced, was due to kick in June. And yeah, 21%, and their position, no matter how high I took that, was it's very simple. You pay the price, you downgrade your package, or you leave. Your choice. It's up to you. You do what you want to do.
Are you letting emotion get in the way of good business here?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And I think for those who read my letter and read all the way to the bottom, whilst I wanted to get certain points across to Rightmove, which I felt really important, what I also wanted to what I did want to tag on the end of that, and I felt those last 3 points I gave to agents, which was about knowing your business, in terms of, what works for your business. We've been looking at, every year we look at our stats, we pull apart the statistics. I'm not interested what a portal tells me the stats are. For us, it's about, actually how many quality leads came in, because the reality is, with any portal, probably about a third of the leads we receive are nothing. They're either repeat inquiries from the same person, or they are people who never answer any emails or phone calls, no matter how many times you try to reach them. So probably about a third of leads on average can be removed from the quoted figures. And then for us, at the end of the day, leads is irrelevant. I've always taken the viewpoint, I'll happily go the portal that gives me 5 leads if those turn into 5 deals. To me, any supplier, if a supplier is going to say, we're going to bring you 500 leads, if those 500 leads result in 2 deals, that's not helping my business. That's more of a drain on my business than it is a benefit. So you need to understand that. You need to understand where your business is coming from. You need to understand what that converts into in terms of actual revenue. And so we do this every year with our reviews with Rightmove and Zoopla. Which are at different times. Before those meetings, I would spend about a day each time, really picking apart those stats and knowing exactly to the pence how many deals we've done off the leads that have generated. And you know, Zoopla overtook Rightmove years ago for us.
So why haven't you left them before?
It's been a battle, you know. I think we've always taken a viewpoint that as London letting agents, we're very lucky. We deal in a high market area. We get paid substantial fees by our clients. And we've always taken a viewpoint that we've sort of put our clients' needs above those of our own. So it was more about saying to our clients, we're on the 2 biggest portals in the UK. So we're covering that broadest spectrum, rather than trying to understand actually whether our clients got anything out of that. But for us, that was a sacrifice we were willing to make. Like I said, we've seen Zoopla sort of really come to the ascent. You know, I think they overtook Rightmove for us about 4 or 5 years ago in terms of business generated. They're now substantially above Rightmove in terms of business generated for literally half the price, pretty much exactly half the cost.
Okay, but if everyone leaves Rightmove, that makes Zoopla the powerful thing, and they're about to put their prices up and become Rightmove Part 2.
Well, they might do. I think what's come out of this is look, there's been waves of this in the past with Rightmove, and ultimately it's all come to nothing because it's all been that, well, you go first. Sort of, you know, there's been
everybody's been sitting on the fence waiting for everyone else. I mean, that's what's happened with On the Market at the start.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think to Rightmove dropping 75% of their fee for the next few months?
I saw an interesting tweet today, which was basically saying, oh, 75%, that's nice, but, you know, really, it should have been a year free and restructured pricing thereafter. Now, I have to say, actually, I don't agree with that. I think, look, everyone is, you know, we're all facing problems and challenges, and my letter about Rightmove, us leaving Rightmove, wasn't about that. It's not about destroying Rightmove. I know Rightmove delivers a lot of value to a lot of agents, and it is a critical portal for them.
Yeah, I still believe it represents, in most places, not all towns and cities, but most places, damn good value for money. I think the issue is that agents don't actually, you know, wasn't it Peter Knight did a survey and just over 52% of people will never rang back on leads?
I mean, look, I've heard this stat pretty much trotted out at every industry event for the last few years. I mean, it's a stat I always struggle to get my head around because
it was done by Andy from Yondell, you know, and we're talking 20,000.
No, I'm not questioning that. I'm not questioning the validity of that statistic. What I know is that for our business, every lead gets called. They might not, you know, we're a small operation, so they might not get an instant call. Yeah, you know, they might.
You are a good agent, mate. You win big awards. I mean, you know, you are.
Well, that's it. I mean, like, you know, but I speak to a lot of agents of a lot of different sizes, admittedly, mostly at award events. So typically, you tend to have the more effective operations there. Look, I find that dumbfounding, you know, quite frankly. You know, as a lot of people have said, you know, what are you doing? Why are you paying for a lead system that you're not making the most out of those leads, whilst potentially moaning about it? Bizarre. And really, what are you doing as an agent if you're not handling those leads? I think, I just find that stat really hard to understand, because I know that there's probably at least 20% of the market. I feel there's got to be 20% of the market that are calling every lead. So that means there's got to be 20% of the market that are calling virtually no leads to sort of offset that. So yeah, I don't know what to say on that, but agents have to hold their hands up and understand where they're at fault and where it's a partner. I mean, coming back to what you were asking me about pricing, I feel Rightmove's offer to knock off 75%, look, that's their profit margin. So I think for any business to basically turn around and go, guys, this is our profit margin, we're taking that off until we come out the back end of this, so that we can still pay to run our business, but we're foregoing that profit until we all come out the other end. I think for most businesses, I think that would be a very, very decent proposition. And so I think, you know, I think what the 3 portals have now offered, I think is interesting for most agents.
What would you say to agents who have put their notice in but now might be tempted back to
Look, I think it's about why they put that notice in. You know, why I quit Rightmove. We quit Rightmove, not because of this, not because of the current climate, not because of that vile first offer that they put out. We made this decision 6 months ago, but we were in a contract. There was no point serving notice 6 months ago. It just so happened, and I had always said if I left Rightmove, I would do it publicly, because I've seen these waves happen. I've seen all the comments that happen on the industry blogs, 95% of which happen under names of which you have no idea who that person is, what agency they're talking about, etc., etc. That often came to nothing. But I think the sense I got each time that sort of hype cycle began was that most people were waiting for someone to step out into the sort of line of fire, for want of a better phrase, and go, there you go, I've done it. And I think, I think it was interesting in your interview with Ian, he talked about the fact one of the big boys nearly did it. Now, interestingly, actually, I don't think if one of the big boys had done it, that necessarily would have caused a follow-on from small agents. I think, we talk about our industry a lot, and it's 80% independence. And I think, and there's a lot of small single branch operations like us out there. And I don't think seeing a Leaders Romans or, or whoever, I don't know, I've absolutely no idea which one of those was considering it. But seeing one of those do it, I don't know that a single branch would have gone, well, if they're doing it, I'm doing it. So for me, like I said, the reasons weren't about the current climate. This was the decision Anne and I made 6 months ago. Everything that's gone on crystallized it. But yeah, I always said that I would do it publicly to people I've spoken to about this. And so that's what we did. Now, the reality is with that, and again, as I put in my open letter, and as we put in our email that went out to our landlords as well and our clients, we've taken a process of really explaining to our clients what we're doing, why we're doing it. The support from them has been amazing. But, we've said to them, and I said in the open letter, at the end of the day, this isn't emotion, this is about the business. And I believe my business will have little or no difference in revenue as a result of leaving Rightmove. But the next 3 to 6 months, well, we intended on doing this in a normal marketplace. So we were going to monitor the following 3 to 6 months. And obviously, if we saw a critical drop-off, then I would have readily gone back to Rightmove cap in hand and gone, right, we need to enter a new 12-month contract with you. Job done. And as I've said, if that happens, again, I will publicly do that. I will back it up with statistics. But yeah, obviously, in the weird climate we're in, who knows? It's going to be a much more difficult.
Two final questions.
Yeah.
What would you say to agents out there who are, as Ian White said, you can take the short-term approach and take the bribe of the 75% off, or you can put this monster to bed and play the long game, but he's going to be brave.
Yeah.
Not my words, not necessarily. Yeah. I'm paraphrasing. What would you say to someone who's sitting, independent agent like yourself, sitting on the fence?
Look, I'm not going to speak for other agents. The thing is, I put in my letter. Yeah. My issue is.
What would your message be to Bob Smith or Jane Jones, who's an estate agent, one person saying, "Do I do this?"
It comes back to that thing. You've got to understand your business. I think you've got to understand whether that is the right choice for your business. Emotion has no place in this.
I agree.
I'm all for an industry sort of action group, and I think there is a chance to re-navigate the landscape. But my God, we're in such complicated times. Maybe that is a battle for another day. But agents need to understand, and I've spoken to lots of agents over the years who've said to me, with different portals, Rightmove smashes it for me and Zoopla adds no value, or Zoopla smashes it for me and Rightmove adds no value, or On the Market smashes it for me and I don't really understand why I do the other two. you know, and whenever I have those conversations with agents, I'm always like, well, what are you waiting for? You know, it's so look, it's an opportunity. It's been great to see the industry come together. It's unfortunate that it took this sort of global pandemic crisis to really bring that bond together, but that's been fantastic to see, and I really hope that lasts. But look, suppliers, be it portals, be it, you know, online chatbots, be it valuation leads, whatever, we're all in this together. You know, we are an industry, and that industry is more than just us as agents. It's about our suppliers as well. And you know, you need to do what's right for your business, but you also need to understand that the landscape that we work in, with all the different suppliers and partners that we have, they're in it too, you know, and you know, we can't as agents just sort of retract into this little shell and terminate all of our marketing, all of our partnerships. And A, I don't think that's going to benefit a business, and B, my God, you know, what are we going to come back to in hopefully 3-4 months time? But you know, if it's longer, you know, what do we come back to if we sort of cannibalize our own industry and supplier market? So,
well, you know, it's interesting. I've been talking to some big agents, and they're actually upping their marketing.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, I think that's a typical reaction of big operations, and they've got big overheads to be covering. So I think that's a pretty typical strategy for big agents. I think for small agents, I think there's some really interesting opportunities. I think, you know, we've been talking about social media and the engagement on that. I mean, my God, if now isn't the best time to really work on your social media with everyone stuck at home, you know, and I imagine there's a lot of people browsing on social media right now. Now is a real time to embed yourself in your local community and use that social media platform. For me personally,
to sell your services and how wonderful you are.
No, absolutely, categorically not. I think in this climate, it's got to be, we're here to help, and whatever that is, you know. You've got agents like Paramount who are always. I mean, my God, I don't know how those guys run a business. They do so much charity stuff. I mean, they are incredible. But you know, I've seen so many bulletins out by them about coronavirus support, food deliveries, all this sort of stuff. I think at the end of the day, we've just all got to work this out together. I mean, I think, you know, there's lots of tenants and landlords worried about income, be that jobs or rent. You know, maybe this is a good opportunity for letting agents to reach out to their community and go, do you know what? This isn't about us getting a management fee. We're here to help. You know, if you're trying to understand how you pay your rent, we're happy to talk. If you're a landlord who's got a tenant in that crisis and you feel that we can bring a moderate voice to that, we're here to help. And don't charge anything. If you can apply your expertise, and obviously if you can sort of embed your brand into the psyche of your local community over the next 3 to 6 months, do it. But don't focus on that. Just focus on helping. And like I said, whether that's dropping off food, whether that's checking in on lonely elder people, whether that is imparting some industry advice, I think that, you know, I think for me, that is the massive opportunity, particularly for independent operations, but also for the big ones. The social media opportunity in the next 3 to 6 months is massive.
And finally, how are you coping? How are you feeling? And be honest.
Good. I mean, it's weird, isn't it? Right? It's you know, a month ago, we were coming towards the tail end of Feb. We were so hyped about what this year had in store. We had our best ever January, we banked our best ever February. Obviously, I was in the process of rolling out the depository. You know, what we were looking at this year, you know, it was a year of excitement. You know, after battling through last year, which, like I said, tenant fee ban didn't impact us, but a tough one for the industry. We were super, super excited about this year, both as an agency and like I said, with our new software product for agents, in terms of rolling that out. And, you know, the scary thing is, yeah, you know, what's ahead of us? I don't know. But one thing I do feel amazing about is is how this industry has come together in the space of 10 days. You know, and I've had some amazing emails, WhatsApps, voice messages, you name it, from agents up and down the country that I've never spoken to, never had any interaction with, you know, thanking me for doing the letter and you know, sort of encapsulating pretty much exactly what a lot of agents like me felt. But generally, I think there's been this sort of rally cry, and I've definitely seen there's been evidence of this at a grassroots level the last 3, 4, 5 years. I've really felt going to a lot of the industry events the last 3, 4, 5 years, there's definitely been this growing sense of communities and industry, both between independents. It's been really nice in London. There's a bunch of us independents who now regularly idea share and talk and support in a really nice, fun way. But what's been nice for me is to see that not just in the independents, across mid-sized agencies and to corporates as well. In the last few years, I've had some fascinating conversations with some very senior people at some very big operations, and it's been really nice to knowledge share and idea share. And for me, I think that's the really exciting thing that I've seen happen in the industry. I think, you know, this sort of knives out, stab each other in the back, cold-hearted sales viewpoint that the public very much has, and I think a lot of agents think that that's the sector they're in. I think that there's always going to be an element of that, of course, in every business sector. There's always people who it's about the money and nothing else. But, you know, I think the most exciting for me is been seeing this growing community of our industry and our profession, and that's been crystallized in these times. In the last week or 10 days, the love and support that I've seen going in every which direction, like I said, between agents, but also suppliers, between communities, the engagement that we've had with our landlords and the gratitude that we've had from them in terms of keeping them updated. We did a massive update to our tenants yesterday, going through pretty much every sort of crisis question that they could have. And we've had some really lovely responses from our tenants today saying, my God, thank you so much for, you know, really just helping us understand what's going on and that we're in this together. And for me, that's the exciting thing, you know. And I think, look, there's going to be casualties of, you know, however long this goes on, there's going to be winners and losers and there's going to be casualties. But I think what is nice is that, by God, it looks like we're all going to be doing our best to help one another through it as best as we can. And that's amazing. That is amazing and exciting.
Well, I think, you know, these are tumultuous times, and I think, you know, for the industry and also for humankind, you know, they'll look back at this time and think, you know, they got through that. And, you know, if the byproduct of this is that we come closer together as human beings and spend time with our family, you know, as I said, unfortunately, there's going to be people out there that do lose their lives, and my thoughts are with them. And we all have family out there that, you know, if they get it, are not very good, myself included. But fundamentally, life must go on, mustn't it?
That's it. That's it. And look, I've done a few shout outs, both sort of personally, but also as businesses, saying, look, if there's anything we can do, please reach out. And I think, you know, I can't stress that enough. I think for a lot of people, I think particularly with the isolation measures that are coming in, if there is a lockdown, that will be heightened again. But don't undervalue talking. You know, don't undervalue just having a natter with someone. It doesn't need to be to get an answer to a question or to solve a problem. Just have a natter, you know, and I've said it repeatedly. I'll say it again, you know, to anyone watching this. If you want to chat, I'm happy to chat, you know, on a phone, jump on a Google Hangout, whatever. Just happy to talk.
Too right. I mean, as you say, what we do in the next few months will be written into estate agency history and letting agency history. It'll test as an industry, and perhaps anything more in our life than anything else in our lifetimes. But, you know, together we're stronger, and we will beat this, won't we?
Exactly, mate. Exactly. Couldn't agree more.
Thank you for your time, and speak to you soon.
Love and wishes. Take care.